Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harv's World, where we're back on Elmcreek again. Probably not for that much longer, if I'm honest. But yeah, winter has come and gone. We are back into spring, and winter was very, very, very lucrative. At least for Caveman and I. And Caveman's with us today. Sharko is not. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he was not able to join us. So it's just me and Caveman, and we are setting up for spring, getting our fields planted and ready to go. We've got Graham Pierce, Jordan the Canadian Kid, Easy Rider, and David Smith so far. There must be something fun and exciting going on today. Not as many people starting off. Yeah, don't spoil the F1 race results, guys. That's important. Caveman, thoughts, words?
Hello. How's it going, everybody?
And of course, hi right back to Glenda, David. Hope she's doing well.
Yep.
So, just getting started this morning, we had a new TMR mixer come out on ModHub this week, and this thing is a beauty. I got to be honest with you. It's exactly what I've been looking for in a TMR mixer. It's got great mixing ratios. It will handle tip-ins as well as bales, and it produces just the right amounts for small cattle operations. Now, this one, well, I tried to mod it just edit it a little bit to increase because it is small. It runs, I think max it'll hold about 46,000 liters, but the mixing ratios are right. That was a big one. That was important to me. And anyway, I got the editing mostly right. Caveman came in and tweaked it for me and put his traditional caveman spin on it, which means this one does a whole lot more than the one on ModHub does now. And of course, whenever we edit a mod, we don't share those edits because, frankly, that's just out of respect for the modder who made it. I know modders expect people to go in and edit their mods and all of that kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean that we're going to take any kind of credit for it by sharing what we've done. If you want to switch it up to meet your farm needs a little bit more, obviously you're going to do that. So I got a whole bunch of straw bales that I don't want to have sitting around anymore, so I'm going to drop these suckers in there, and you should see them disappear here fairly quickly. There they go. Outstanding. That was about 250,000 liters of straw that just went in there. So we are set. So that's going to be cranking out TMR for my cows. Very important. Paul Tunks, how's it going, bud? What's the good word, man? And for me,
Yeah.
we're going to be planting a whole bunch of oats. Go ahead, Caveman.
Was it you ought to open it up and show them what it looks like on the inside now?
I will. As I'm running down the field planting oats. So it's a standard production. It's the TMR mixing station. Now normally it only makes TMR one way, and it's this way: silage, hay, mineral feed, and straw. And it's just the perfect ratio for that. Clearly I've got 180,000 liters of silage in this thing, and that's barely touched what it will hold because of the Caveman edit. But Caveman also added 2 other silage recipes to this thing that you can activate if you like: silage, hay, and straw, or just silage and hay, which is very much part of the base game. You do not have to use mineral feed to make TMR, which I found odd. Like, why are they putting it in if you don't have to use it? But I guess, if you're running a dairy operation, you want to role play that, what's really going on out in the real world, then you might do that. But yeah, so that's our new TMR mixer. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Bruce, how's it going, man? Paul, you've got a boring on-call day at work. Well, I
Oh
hope if you're
man.
just on call, you can at least hang and do something fun to occupy your time while you're waiting for those calls to come in. But that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. No fun whatsoever. And we are going to show you in just a little bit exactly what we've done with all the money that we made, because we made a lot of bloody money over winter. Our farms have expanded enough, they're really starting to pay for it. Oh, you're welcome, Paul. Absolutely welcome. It's nice to have other people in sometimes, just because, I mean, I'm trying to come up with stuff to say all the time, and unless people are in chat and talking it up, it can be a bit of a challenge.
Definitely can be.
It's you guys that make this fun for us, you know. I mean, we can talk about crap all day long, but you guys participating just makes it that much easier.
It sure does.
So I'm basically powering up my flour mill. I've got, what's it, wheat or barley that I put over in the field over here on the left. I can't remember which.
I don't remember.
This field's getting oats, and then I've got a big new expansion that is going to get sorghum in April. A lot of bloody sorghum.
And I'm planting oats in this other field here across the street.
Yep. My other big field is getting oats also. Oats doesn't produce as much as barley and wheat, so I felt like having some extra cropland. And this field just runs a little bit tight on these factories over here, but I'll live with it. Not going to let good potential farmland go to waste. Oh,
Okay.
and for the first time on stream, we are showing off Caveman's newest addition to the Kinsey planters. And if you'll notice, we used to have a planting texture behind these things. Well, now it's got a rolling texture, and that's because, as an option in the shop now, you can buy, at least if you've got Caveman's version. I don't know if he's made it public yet or not. It's still kind of in a testing phase. But he has activated the rollers on the back of this thing. And so not only does this plant, it rolls right behind you. So you don't have to roll your field anymore if you're using this thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful addition.
It's not public yet.
And it's a true to life edition.
But it will more than likely be public by tomorrow.
Yeah, he wanted one more test.
.io.
Yeah, he wanted a live test on stream to make sure that it was functioning right in multiplayer, which I would say so far so good. I'm not seeing any problems with it. I've had good success with it in single player. But I mean, these things are built with rollers. That's now an intended use. And since they've got the rollers already, why do we have to roll our fields a second time? Well, now you do not. Kevin! Sparky, good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. And hashtag blames.
Great to be back.
Hashtag blame. We can't even. Well, we can blame Sharko for whatever we want. But he's not here with us today.
Well, you can hashtag blame Sharko for him not being here.
There you go. It's all his fault. Atomic watched the impromptu and iconic movie post. Conan's a good one. I've never seen Sheena, but the Conan movie poster, that's a good one. People were coming up with all kinds of really good ones that I was kind of disappointed that I hadn't thought of.
Yes, it will be going for Giants testing again. And I will also go ahead and release it on my itch.io.
Giants has not been very kind to Caveman, I gotta say. They keep kicking his mods to the curb. They do, Bruce. It does show as a rolled field. Not only that, if you really need to, let's say had to use a potato planter, right, to plant potatoes, or if you're doing sugar cane and you have to roll your field afterwards, you can open up this planter. Don't turn it on, but unfold it, lower it to the ground, and it will act as a field roller without seeding. That's how bloody handy. Caveman being forward thinking, that's what he did.
Yep, and it only costs $2,000 to add it to the planter in the shop.
Yeah, because all the equipment's already built in. You're just basically activating the functionality, right?
Basically. Oh, and these planters are so direct. They're also direct drills.
That's right. Their base game direct drills that Giants didn't tell anybody was direct drills until a month or so ago.
That's correct.
Which I told Caveman, I'm like, this is the last time we're how did you get that much of that field done? Well, I just finished up this little baby field.
Because I started planting while you were showing off the
yeah, that
production.
makes sense. We've got seed tenders and all that. We need a bloody tanker that will run liquid fertilizer for us. A fertilizer tender.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be nice. Hey, James, how's it going, bud? What is the good word, my man? Oh, I do too. It's my land. Shut up. Get off my land.
Gotta stop by the shop and grab some more fertilizer on the way to your other field.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing. The thing sucks down the liquid fertilizer. Although I don't need fertilizer on your land, do I? You told me I didn't.
Yeah, not on mine, but on your other part up yonder, we're gonna need it.
Oh, there you go. Most modern planters had no-till technology. Alice Chalmers had a direct air-injected no-till planter in the 1960s. Well, there you go, right there. You might have hit the nail on the head there, Sparky. Maybe Sharko is trying to get his tractor out of a lake somewhere. Maybe that's why he couldn't join us.
Oh, that would keep right on brand for Sharko.
Right? You get to the end of that row. I'll come in behind you and finish up the rest of it. And
Alrighty.
Paul, for Harv's World members such as yourself, we have a cross-play server set up already.
Yes, we do.
That's how you were able to join us on Voice the other night.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Bruce, that's absolutely correct. And, you know, I mean, as much as Giants is trying to incorporate precision farming into their game, that's a big part of precision farming. You know, the stuff they don't tell you, it's not just about maximizing fertilization and all of that, which is what Giants has done with it. But it involves GPS, computer systems determine how much seed gets planted at what speed, how far apart the seeds are. You know, all of that stuff is part of precision farming these days. Oh, how did that happen? Yeah, that's easy to
What
fix.
happened?
Well, I think that was a Sharkoism right there. There's one little square plot of land over here that got planted, but I missed a little smidge of a row down here. There we go. Now, here's something that I found appropriate since Sharko is Sharko has fashioned himself as a sheep farmer. And something the girls I've been working with lately like to say is there's 100 ways for sheep to die, and they're going to try every one of them. And that just seems so appropriate when it comes to Sharko. Oh. Good thing we got traffic turned off.
Come on.
So you need to modify this seed tender so the arm sticks out farther. I can't get it to trigger.
Probably because you have it opened, right?
I got it open. Let me try something. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Nope.
You're too far forward. You're too far back on it. Should be right there.
Do you have it turned on?
Yes.
There.
It didn't like that side.
Of course it didn't. Alright, I'm going to the shop to buy liquid fertilizer.
You shouldn't have to buy any. There should be 3 containers sitting out there beside the shop.
Alright. And then I'm going to the shop to fill up with liquid fertilizer. How about them apples?
That sounds more like it.
Giants is releasing for the year 1 pack finally. Yeah, it's pretty handy, James. The that seed tender normally does fairly well. I say normally. Well, I just took most of what was down here. So, I'm going to buy some more. A couple more pallets. You think 2 is enough or 3? Probably.
2 should be enough.
Mr. Sweet, how's it going? How's the wild world of Scandinavia, man? Okay. So now I want to set up for sugar beets.
So you're not doing your field?
My field what?
I thought you were doing your big field.
Nope. April. Sorghum in April.
Oh, you don't even need fertilizer for the sugar beets.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I,
my bad.
I keep forgetting that myself. That's actually my bad. So this field next to the road by your sugar factories, that's going to be sugar beets?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Kyle, what is the good word, my man? Well, shoot. Now I've got to unload this thing with it's going to be a huge waste of liquid fertilizer if I don't unload. Oh, good to hear, Mr. Sweet. Yeah, it's kind of like that around here, too. Spring is in the air, but we still got some cold nights. Look, got up in the 70s Fahrenheit yesterday. But then it's going to cool off again. Well, that's par for the course, Harv. This is the problem with running duels. Sometimes you just can't get a tight enough swing on it. Now, we were talking about that before the stream, David. That mod that allows you to shut down the fertilizer. Okay, we should try that out. Yeah, I guess we really should have. Alright, that's good enough. Caveman has a serious Jones for some mega sugar beets here. And now I'm just botching this up today like there's no tomorrow.
I got 2 fields getting sugar beets and 1 field getting sugar cane.
I hear you, Kyle. I'm the same. I'm not a winter person, and yeah, it's. I just remember Jordan had said it's been really warm, so around where Sharko lives, so he's probably got plenty of open water to drown his tractors in. Yeah, we like to do some testing on mods before we just willy-nilly introduce them, and that's just because sometimes mods work really good in single player, and then in multiplayer not so well. That's what we have found. How much sugarcane are you planting?
The 49 through 50, or no, 47 through 51 field.
Oh my god, dude. You're going to be planting sugarcane well into like the next century. I know, I have a penchant for exaggeration, but still. Once I get your sugar beets in, I guess I can come and run sugarcane to refill your planter for you.
There's a tender over there by my farm, or by my silo.
Yeah.
And
Just call me George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree.
right.
So you can see exactly how Caveman's farm has expanded over the winter. Because this is huge. Look at that. And that's going to be all sugar beets. Why? Because Caveman likes to torture us. That's why. No, he's fashioned himself the Sugar King of Elmcreek. Yeah, that's a huge bloody field now.
Did you show the map or?
Not yet, but I will. I showed them on camera exactly how wide this thing is. How
yeah.
vast.
Oh, that's only one of the sugar beet fields, by the way.
Only one?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, I know which one.
The one that I've got a helper working on right now.
Caveman bought a lot of land. A lot of land. Well, I'm going to do a couple headland passes around this one, and it should be pretty worker friendly. So
Yeah.
this is Caveman's sugar beet field right here, 39 through 43. He's going to be harvesting sugar beets for an eternity and a half. He may never have to plant sugar beets again. Oh, that's a good point, Paul. For harvest, should be watch out for that train. But I hit a tree, so that's why I was thinking tree. Yeah, I'm glad you put a helper on that other other sugar beet field. This is going to take forever. I actually thought at one point we'd get to my, April and my sorghum planting. Now I'm not so sure.
Big old fields.
Yeah, I'm no slouch in the land department these days either. Sharko, however, still has the dinkiest farm on the map. I'm not sure what he's been doing with all of his money. Or if he just hasn't been earning it. Although I know he sold off a bunch and he's got a nice chunk of change sitting there. He just hasn't done anything with it yet. And I think he was planning on doing something today, but then he couldn't join us, so... Wah, 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 wah. Sorry, Sharko. You want to pay, you got to play. Is that one sign? Yes, I knew it was.
Oh,
one
okay. That field's having issues with workers.
There's
so
one.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna switch around. I'm gonna do the other sugar beet field and let a worker do the
sugar cane.
Yep.
There's one bloody sign along that whole road on Elmcreek with collisions on it, and of course I managed to find it every single time. Alright, Sparky, take care, man. I hope you're feeling better soon. Obviously, you are to some degree. You wouldn't be with us today, but take care, man.
Take care.
And for our future streams, I've been thinking about this a lot. When we switch maps, and some of this kind of depends on the map that we switch to and stuff like that, but I've been thinking about goals. What kind of goals do we want to set for ourselves that would help keep us interested in playing and just provide some unique challenges? And I came up with a really, really big one. And you all can tell me exactly what you think of this particular goal. With 3 of us working, of course. And I guess and to some degree it depends on how we start out, and we'd have to set some rules for it. But the goal that I was thinking of is to earn $1 million per month. Once we're earning $1 million per month, we will have accomplished the goal. Now, that doesn't mean we have to earn it every single month. That means within a 12-month span, we have to have earned $12 million. Again, I think there needs to be some rules put in to keep that from happening too easily. Oh, that's not what I
I had
wanted.
one rule already.
What's your rule?
No direct silage sell.
Oh, no grass work. That's a good one.
Well, what I'm saying is the money can't come directly from it. It can come from cows that require the grass work. It just can't come directly from grass.
No mods that are edited for overpayment. That would be gross, yeah. David. 12 million a year gross. And we have to maintain that for at least 2 years. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
It doesn't seem terrible.
But no overpayment mods. And what do you think? Hard mode? Should we try that on hard mode? That would really bump up the challenge level.
I think that's fair. Hard mode.
Okay. And any settings that we should be required to use? Because I mean, there's some that we turn off, like crop destruction. We never run crop destruction. And frankly, I would hate to run crop destruction. I don't like it. I find it tedious. But what were you going to say, Caveman?
I was going to say, if anybody says anything about manual transmissions, I'm out.
Yeah, me too. The manual transmissions in the game do not work properly yet.
No, they're hot garbage unless you've got a full shifter set up and stuff. I don't think any of us have that right now.
I think people are liking the idea of this goal. That's the way it's sounding. And David wants us to do it in hard mode. Now, any mod that, you know, we can't affect sale prices, right? We can't alter mods to make stuff earn more. But as far as capacities go and capabilities, I mean, there is a mod out there now that basically turns any production you're running on a map to 5 times speed.
It doesn't change the productions that are already on the map. You actually have to place them. They're separate placeables.
Right.
And it's the no handcuffs mod.
I thought it was a mod that edited XML.
It is. It's nothing but the XMLs being edited, but it's still not something that just replaces them automatically.
Okay.
That would have to probably be done with Lua.
Okay.
This is just they look identical to the base game placeables. They're just 5 times faster and have bigger capacity.
Okay, it has to be done on seasons. That's what David is saying. We have to have stones turned on.
Like, stones really aren't a problem for us.
No, they're not a problem for us. Psycho Kid Caveman's doing both sugarcane and sugar beets. I'm planting his beets right now, and he's over. Well, he's got a helper planting sugarcane. And I'll show you this big area right here, 49 through 51 that he merged. It's going to be all sugarcane because he enjoys torture. He really does. I think he's just a sadist at heart. All right, seasonal and stones. Yeah, David wants crop destruction turned on. I'm not sure I can get behind that one.
I don't mind it as long as my internet's acting right.
See, that's the problem that we have too. Is a lot of times connections to dedicated servers aren't the best, and I have lagged out and ended up in the middle of a field before. So that's one of the big reasons we don't generally turn it on for streams.
If we don't have to worry about that, then I don't have a problem with it. But
Oh, well, Louise is saying tractors use CVT so they reach top torque at any operating speed. Forget the manuals; those are for sports cars. Well, there's a reason that semi trucks run manual transmissions. But I get your point. I just don't think the way that the game handles manual transmissions right now, and we're not using shifters or anything, we're having the game basically automatically shift, but it really doesn't handle that well.
no, it doesn't. Actually, Jordan, you're right. And Sweet Tooth also happens to be the name of my sugar mill.
Oh, there you go. See, and my bakery is known as Harv's Hot Buns, so that's because I have a major affection for hot buns. Yeah, I'm kind of digging this goal. $12 million a year, have to sustain it for 2 years.
And I personally think we shouldn't be able to use silage or directly sell grass or grass product to make the money. Just because,
It is kind of the easy way to make money in FS22.
quite frankly, I'm tired of doing grass work.
Everybody's tired of grass work.
Like I was honestly thinking about planting field 53 and 54 in grass, and then I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna plant more sugar beets. It's easier.
And Kevin's saying just play as real as possible to make the money. So I mean that works for me.
As real as possible.
We can't have any kind of cheaty type mods, I guess, is really what he's trying to say. We do keep it real. For the most part, we do. Hey, Eric, how's it going, man?
Okay, now I got a question for you, Kevin. Is that real farmer real or realistically possible real?
I think he means realistic gameplay real. You know, like, we can't run fast, super fast speeds, no speed planting or the real speed mod, that kind of thing. Which we generally don't do anyway. At least not on stream.
We're doing it on. I mean, we do it sometimes on Hobo's Hollow, but
that's impromptu. That's just us
just
playing
chill,
for fun.
Relax. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing. That's just us getting on to play and deciding to stream it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, this is too, but there in my mind there's a distinction. And I guess that's what matters. How's it going, Eric? Riao. Is it Rao? Row? Oh, that'd be row, like bow. Row. Just watched one of your tutorials for prepping a field, and I just bought this game, and I'm completely overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, man. There can be a pretty steep learning curve, honestly. I hope you found that helpful, at least. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, David. We could end up wiping out a good portion of a field just because the servers decided to crap out. That's how we ended the stream on Friday night, actually. The server connection crapped out on both of us.
Yep.
And we're like, well, it's been 3 hours. We should probably call it a night anyway. But yeah, we both lost connection at the same time, and I don't even
Then
remember.
promptly spent another 3 or 4 hours getting back the data that we lost.
Yep. So there you go. I agree, Psycho Kid. Louise, does it have the whole industry with sugarcane up to ethanol? Well, biogas plants produce ethanol, right? Well, no, they produce. Is it methane?
I think they produce methane.
They produce methane, and I don't think you can sell sugarcane to the biogas plant, which you should be able to. Maybe if you chopped, can you chop sugarcane with a forage harvester?
That I don't know.
That I don't know either.
Okay, so
Row, that's exactly how we all learned, man. And I have a very popular beginner's tutorial for FS19, and a lot of that information does translate to FS22, but I haven't had the time or opportunity to get much in the way of tutorials done for 22 yet because I started a new job and it's been occupying a lot of my time, which is a good thing because, well, frankly, I need the income. That's the bottom line. Um, yeah, Psycho. One of the ones that has impressed me, and it's a smaller production, but it's real interesting, is the new one that Omatana dropped a week or two ago. She added what 11 different production types to Farm Sim.
something like that. I mean, there's potato. I mean, there's French fries for potatoes. There's soy milk and or what is it? No, soy drink and soy
Oat.
something.
There's oat drink,
Yeah, she
strawberry
added a
ice
bunch of
cream,
yeah, she added a bunch of stuff, and
and she built them all in farm buildings. They're not. They don't look like factories. They look like stuff you can place right on your farm.
that is true. They do, which is really nice.
And her logic behind putting them in farm, or at least the result of putting them in farm buildings, is that they're smaller productions. Like, you know, a farmer just decided, hey, I've got a good homemade recipe for strawberry ice cream. I could set up a little operation to make my strawberry ice cream out here.
Right.
So they're smaller productions, but they are very, very, very interesting. Psycho Kid, when am I moving? Well, that depends on the housing market because, man, Nevada is tough all over. I had a real hard time finding a place to live when I moved to Nevada, and now that they're moving me to a different location in Nevada, I'm having a very difficult time finding a place to rent in my new location, too. Nevada, if you guys want to make money building houses, homes, and apartments, townhouses, and duplexes and whatnot, come to Nevada. Of course, I imagine the purchase price for real property is probably going to be pretty steep because of that. Hey, Matthew Albert, how's it
Probably
going,
right.
man? Haven't seen you in a while. Maybe I just missed you. Yeah, we're not saying we won't or can't do grass work. We're saying we just can't make money if we do set that $1 million a month goal. We just can't sell silage to make a big chunk of our money.
Right. And Paul, that one from Omatana is on all platforms.
Yep, it's
It's
on
actually
ModHub.
up. Yep, it is, and it's actually up on the member server.
Well, I'll tell you, Ro. Honestly, for my money, and I've said this on stream numerous times now, the Hope Baileron map is a much kinder starting map for new players. The equipment setup's not bad. The farmland setup is significantly, dramatically better than you get on Elmcreek. I'm sorry, but I genuinely believe that. I know everybody loves Elmcreek, and I understand why, but Giants just made Hope Baileron the better map for beginners. Soda Factory. Not that I've seen. There might be one on Mod Network. I know there are some alcohol wine type factories and stuff that are on third party sites. I don't know that I've seen Soda Pop though.
I don't know to it that I've seen soda either.
There's a mod for you, Caveman. You could call it Caveman Crush.
I thought I'd call it Sea Cola.
That works too. I've almost got your mega beet field planted. I'm gonna run out of seed though.
Okay, I'll bring over the seed tender.
Also, for that $1 million goal, I think we need to set a reasonable starting amount. You know, maybe say farm manager at max for starting funds, like 1.5 million, without any land or equipment.
I think what it's gonna boil down to, what the starting with is basically depends on what map we use. Personally, because if we start on a map where a small field is like $10 million, then that's not gonna work.
Well, I wouldn't play a map where a small field costs $10 million. That's ridiculous. Like somebody has not been paying attention to proper land pricing. Pull forward, just hold right there. Now back up a smidge.
I think you need to pull forward just a smidge. Should be right there.
You're over the wrong tank. Remember, it wouldn't work on that tank?
Oh, I thought it was this one it wouldn't work on.
And that's the left one it works on, the right one it doesn't. Hold up right there. There it is. Oh, it was. No, back up. There it is, right there. Apparently it only fills on the left tank. Oh, there you go. Strawberry smoothie drinks. For a strawberry smoothie, I think you'd have milk, sugar, and strawberries. Thank you, sir. That'd be my take on it anyway, but what do I know? Yep, we are running both of those, Louise. You can see GPS on the field right now, and real dirt. If I was running through lime right now, you'd see this planter was pure white. I'm not sure how far I went. The one thing the field roller mod does that make sure oh, there it is right there. Okay, I'm good. Or the addition to the planters, if you run out of seed, it keeps rolling, so you can't tell where you've where you stopped seeding at or stopped planting at. But it's all good. A quick look at the map will fill in the blanks for you. Oh, soy. Yeah, that would be a good addition for soy. If you're making soy milk, you could use that to make your smoothies. So you add your production chain there. That's cool. Strawberry daiquiris. There you go. Then you'd have another reason to use your sugar cane because you got to make rum for daiquiris, and rum requires sugar cane.
Mm-hmm.
In the real alcohol making world, anyway. Almost done with sugar beets.
Almost done with sugar beets. Well, I got the small sugar beet field planted.
Well, I got the big one. Uh,
Like 2
one
passes.
one pass and a bit. I mean, literally like 1 meter, 2 meters wide tops. Probably 2 meters. Hey, Rob, how you doing, man?
You're up.
So this is Caveman's farm now. He has expanded just this huge area here. He's got this area down here, which is, he'll be planting sugarcane for all eternity. He's got these 2 fields, which he just put more sugar beets in. And by comparison, this is Sharko's farm.
Show the farmland so they can actually get a good look at it.
Say what?
Turn on farmland. That way it actually shows the land in the color.
Oh, there you go. So
it's a little bit easier to see on the screen.
Right. So that's Sharko's. This is Caveman's giant plot of land. This is my farm here, but I've expanded as well. I'm not going to show that off just yet. As I drive across the road, and I just ripped the bottom out of the cedar or planter. Come on, Squirrely.
And I do plan on buying more land if we're on the map long enough for me to accumulate the money I need to do it.
Paul's hoping someone would come up with an apple orchard, orange tree, or juice factory. I would be very surprised if that's not in the works somewhere.
Pretty sure somebody was working on a fruit orchard. I know the PV maps that are PC only have fruit orchards. That I do know. But I do think somebody was working on orchards for all platforms.
Nice. Very cool. Well, so far the job endeavor, Rob, is going real well. Except for the fact that I have to move again, and finding a place to rent is a real hassle in the state of Nevada. And that's mostly because there's so many miners here. A lot of gold mining and other types of mining in Nevada, and that draws a lot of people because the mines pay really, really, really well. And what I mean by really well is the upper tiers of 5 figures and pushing into 6. Or so I've been finding out since I was here. Louise did all whiskey on Yukon River Valley and had 100 million. Yeah. Once you get cranked up on Yukon, you can make money pretty darn quick. But that's cool, man.
It is cool.
I think almond tree. I mean, we're going to talk about avocados. You could, if you're going to do avocados, you could do almonds as well. Those are kind of 2 big things in California. Almond trees especially, and those would actually give good purpose for the beehives as well. because I know a lot of people ship beehives out to California in the or for the almonds. A lot of them do that. Rob, yeah. I'm gonna have to fight my nephew off off of the my Bulgarian painting. Where are you at, planter boy? There you are. Let's see if we can get you loaded on the move.
I can already tell you it's not going to load on the move.
No?
No. It's, in order to load it, it's got to be
Oh,
like that.
unfolded. Well, it looks like I got here in the nick of time anyway. You don't look too full. There it is. Almonds do use a lot of water. They built a hospital in Carson City and forgot to build housing. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Are you full?
Yep. It only holds 8,000 liters.
All right. And do you have sugar cane in your main silo?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's where all of my sugar cane is at.
Just making sure I know where to go.
No.
And actually, I'm glad you said that, David. Almond uses a lot of water because one of the reasons that, especially cattle-heavy areas, are switching to sorghum from corn is for that very reason. Sorghum uses a lot less water than corn does. A lot less. Do you need fertilizer in that thing too?
No, I fertilized the fields beforehand.
Okay.
So they are good to go.
And this is the last of your planting that needs to be done?
Yes. This is. Speaking of planting that needs to be done, do we know what Sharko was planning on planting?
Probably more sunflowers.
Okay.
And they can get planted in April. Since he owns the thing with the thing.
Yeah, he owns the thing with the thing. Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know. Maybe we should just plant that field in cotton for him.
I mean, be my guest. Go right ahead. Actually, you know what?
What?
This is his plant. This is his tractor, right?
With the planter on it?
I got his tractor right here with a planter on it. I'm gonna go ahead and send it down there to his farm.
Nah, I'll do it. But I'm not gonna put cotton in that field. I'm sure he wants sunflowers.
I'll say I was gonna send his down there. That way you could just put a worker on it.
Yeah, but I need something to do. I'm not gonna be filling you up that often.
Okay.
So instead of just having people sit around here watching me sit around, I can at least go put sunflowers in Sharko's field. And if he doesn't want sunflowers, well, he can dig them up and plant something else himself. Or next time he can just make it to the bloody stream and do his own work. I know, we're so mean to poor Sharko. Now, what's... Oh, that's the field you're working. Okay. Man, you expanded a lot.
Oh yeah, I know. I expanded a whole lot.
And he's got no fertilizer on any of his fields, does he?
I don't think he does.
Actually, funny you should mention that, Graham, because Caveman did a pink tractor recently. Oh, potato. That would be awesome. I know you made a lot of money this winter, Sharko, but now you got to buy a potato harvester. Ha ha. You planted potatoes for no. I don't know. We told a helper to plant sunflowers, and he planted potatoes. Must have been a glitch. See, that's the real dirt mod in action. I drove through a bunch of lime and it turned white, and now as I drive through dirt, it's knocking the lime off and turning it back to dirt. Whoa! See, there's that lag spike we were talking about.
Yep.
Oh, we've done that, Rob. we Caveman and I do have a nasty habit of playing practical jokes on Sharko. At one time, he's got that trailer with the sliding panels on the side. So we opened that up, and back when he had little tractors for doing olives, we parked his tractor
The
inside the
Landini
trailer.
inside of his trailer.
Yep. His tractor's been on the roof. We've parked his harvester in the lake. Yeah, we're horrible people.
We've put his tractor on top of a stack of bales.
And I just sometimes the side panel really is annoying because you hit a button and it double clicks. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the side panel. It really provides a lot of functionality, but you think you've done an action and then all of a sudden you end up planting through somebody's canola field with sunflowers. Sorry, Sharko. I was trying not to, I promise. That's awesome, Eric. Yeah, right, Louise? Nobody's fond of doing potatoes with standard equipment anyway. That's why we have a caveman. Caveman has built Root Crops Plus, his equipment pack for doing sugar beets, potatoes, and sugar cane.
Exactly.
It doesn't work any wider. It does work a little bit faster, and it has a much bigger tank, which really, those two things actually just make root crops and sugarcane much, much nicer.
Yes, it does.
Well, there's your neighbor, Caveman. A construction company in North Carolina had trouble with people stealing their equipment, so they painted everything pink.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure how much of a deterrent that is, because if they're going to steal equipment, they're obviously not going to use it for themselves. At least I wouldn't think they are.
Well, I know there's a company around here that has stickers, like anime stickers all over some of their equipment.
Is that right?
Don't know why they did it. I just know they did it.
Somebody's just a big lover of anime. Oh, I know Louise. I never use the alt page up or page down function very often. I really don't. I tend to just shift the whole track at the same time. And I don't mind overlapping on a field edge too much, so maybe that's why. It's not costing me anything except a smidge of time if I overlap on a field edge.
If you're looking for some nice trucks, Paul, check out Expendables on Facebook.
Oh yeah, Paul. Mod Network is it's pretty much a go-to site for us as third parties go. It's not quite as good as it used to be, but it's still respectable enough. It's still decent. You just, you know, one of the things that Mod Network does that's a little bit frustrating is that instead of replacing a version of a mod with a newer version, they end up keeping all of the versions. And I know that's on the modder themselves, not on the website. But you can have 2 or 3 versions of the same mod, so you got to kind of pay attention to that. When you're downloading from third-party sites, keep in mind that these mods often have not been tested, and they could throw errors into your game. If you're having problems all of a sudden and you've installed a third-party mod, chances are it's that mod that's causing it. And a good rule of thumb is to not install more than maybe anywhere from 2 to 5 mods at any one time, just so you know which mods got installed if you have a conflict that's killing your game. So all that stuff is important. Lonnie Allison, welcome to the stream. Mad Max, there you are, man. Did they fix the TLX 9000 truck copyright thing?
What copyright thing are you talking about?
If you're talking about the fact that they can't give brand names to vehicles anymore, that's just a Giants requirement now.
Yeah.
Knock down this end just a little bit.
You'll be finished doing what you're doing far before I'm finished planting what I'm planting.
I know it. I'm gonna be here all day with Caveman planting sugar. Probably gonna have to see about maybe getting a second sugarcane planter. Because I would like to get my field planted today. My other field planted today.
Oh, and you can't plant that
No, it's
until next month.
Yep, it's not plantable until April. I want a tractor that has a broadcast seeder on the roof that just spins it out like 100 meters.
That would be nice.
Not really. It would be incredibly, in the real world, that would be incredibly wasteful. In fact, that's kind of the reason that Jethro Tull invented the direct drill. Because up till that point, seed was pretty much done just by, carrying a bag and sprinkling it out by hand.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Feltz. How you doing, man? We are right now. I'm trying to get an impromptu stream on Friday nights just to chill. But right now, because of what work has me doing, we're limited to Sundays. So we're only officially streaming on Sundays. Friday is hit or miss. It depends on how tiring a week I've had at work. Because a lot of times on Fridays I'm driving back home in the afternoon. That's a 300-mile jog.
It's quite a long jog.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Might be a little bit faster if you took a car.
Well, I need the exercise. I'm old. But bum. Where did you send Sharko's tractor to? In his yard?
No, I never. You said don't, so I didn't send it.
Oh, I'll go find it then.
It's still sitting over here by my field. Why do you want it?
Well, I don't want to use the Fendt with duals on it to pull a sugarcane planter. It's a bit much.
Oh, so I reckon I need to lease another sugarcane planter.
Or I can. I don't care.
Okay, there's another sugarcane planter at the shop. His tractor is sitting over in a field here by my farm.
Yeah, Robert, they've asked me to move across the state, so I'll be going from the west side of Nevada to the east side of Nevada, and until I can get moved, I'm driving over there every week. So on Monday morning, I get up at the butt crack of dawn, load up my car, and it's not even quite that simple. I've got to go pick up a company vehicle, which is 70 miles away, grab that, and then drive another 280 miles to get to my destination. So, yeah. It's all good, though. It's for the best. I'm enjoying what I'm doing a lot more than I was before. So much more than I was before. Caveman knows the trials and tribulations. It's not something I'm not a gossip. I don't need to share every fart and wrinkle of what's happened in my life just because, there's other people to take into consideration. Anyway, even with all the traveling, it's a dramatic improvement for my job, for me personally at my job, and once I get moved, it'll be even better. Plus, I will have access to much, much better internet. So, just keep your fingers crossed that something opens up where I can actually get in. And I told them I'd try to get moved by May 1st, and obviously they understand the market in Nevada and know how difficult it can be sometimes. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's really putting a damper on my YouTube channel. And while that is very, very important to me, at the same time, I got to have the income.
They say food in your belly is a little bit more important, right?
At least a roof over my head. Yeah, I know. I'm hard on the equipment, just not as hard as Sharko.
Hey, that piece is Sharko's equipment anyway, so it ought to feel right at home.
Oh, David, happy birthday to Glenda. Everyone, Glenda's
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Glenda's birthday was on Friday. Very cool. Well, you couldn't pay me enough to have to drive daily for college at 300 miles a day. Unless you're talking about a truck driving school, then that makes a perfect amount of sense. And I did my stint as a long haul truck driver. I'm not complaining about the driving at all. I'm just saying that, after a week of working 9-hour days, plus having the drive on Monday morning and then driving back on Friday afternoon, and at my age, and that's no excuse, but at the same time, it does make a difference, whether you whippersnappers want to believe it or not. Sugar. You got a little bit of sugar cane stored up in here, caveman.
Just a little bit. I also don't want to run out, so.
Well, we'll see if Sharko's tractor will do any bloody thing with this. Oh, that's
I
weird.
mean, if his tractor doesn't act right with it, my small one will pull it.
No, I think it's going to be fine. I'm just trying to figure out where his GPS is set, because that's not going to work. Yeah, I've done the 500 miles a day. Actually, back when I was driving a truck, occasionally there may have been 2 or 3 logbooks involved.
Sounds like when I was driving a truck, at least 2 or 3.
At least. Oh.
Oh. For me, it wasn't actual separate books because I used loose leaf instead. It was a whole lot easier.
It was easier to just swing into a truck stop and buy a book, for me anyway. Graham, in your mind, that's absolutely true. But see, there's this thing that happens where your mind is going, man, I feel like I'm 25 years old. And your body sits there and says, ha ha ha, got you, sucker. Your body just keeps insisting on reminding you that no, you're not 25 years old. And you better just get over the idea that maybe you are. This planter is behaving oddly. It's not running clean rows. I'm getting skips every few feet.
I don't know if it's his tractor or that. Is it doing it not in the edge of the field too?
I'm running right down the middle of the field, and it's just skipping planting in certain spots.
It's his tractor. His tractor's too low in the rear.
I'm
Like
glad
the back end of it sits too low.
I'm glad he bought the. I almost bought this tractor when it came on sale. I'm glad he did and I didn't. I guess I'm gonna get your case.
Yeah, might as well just put his on the seat on the tender then.
Yep, that's right. In another 40 years, my body's gonna remind me that I'm not 50 anymore.
It's hooked up to the tender.
Yeah, I see it. I'm coming, I'm coming. I just don't know why I zoomed out so much on this.
Little red to the little red for the win.
Red till you're dead.
Black smoke till I'm broke.
That's right. Did you get close enough to these trees, man?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just checking.
I got as close as I could get without smacking the top of the tractor. That's close enough.
When I drove trucks, I was I was one of the testers for the electronic log, so no fudging for me. Ran the test for 3 years before the DOT made it mainstream. Yeah, that was way after my day. Although we did have GPS just starting to get installed. I did have a GPS unit attached to my truck, and one of those electronic monitoring systems, that like tells how often you quick stop and your max speeds and your average speeds and your miles per gallon and blah 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 blah. That's right, Jordan. Blame Sharko for leaving Harv shoddy equipment. That's exactly right. Robert's exercise routine is I drop things and pick them up. That's my workout. That's awesome. Atomic sneeze. How many times did you have to? Oh, because you were testing this equipment, DOT at the scales probably didn't quite know how it worked. So yeah, I imagine. I imagine you had to explain it to them many, many times.
When I did heavy haul, my favorite thing was having to explain to them how my truck was too heavy to go on their scale.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Not all scales are outfitted for heavy haul.
Oh, fair enough.
And it never failed. You always ran across one, and they'd insist on you scaling it, even though paperwork said that don't scale this truck because it weighs blah blah blah. They still wanted it on the scale.
I'd have told them once, and then if they insisted, I would have driven it on the scale. Don't blame me that your scale got broke. I tried to tell you, and you wouldn't hear it, so now your scale's busted. It's your fault, not mine.
Well, thankfully I never went through one, even though my Uncle Frankie has. I think he's gone through two.
This is a little tractor that could.
I don't know why you're running all the way up that far. I've planted part of that where that lime stops. I've already planted.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oops. It's the small things. Just this morning I was complaining to my wife. I can't seem to sleep for a straight night without having to get up. Yeah, that's one of those things that happens when you get older, too. You end up having to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, especially if they put you on some medication. That's kind of crappy. No pun intended. David wants to know if it actually broke the scale, Caveman.
For me, it shorted it. It didn't. I didn't go through it because it wasn't one of the. It was one of the electronic ones, just like the pad or whatnot. Yeah, it shorted it out. But for my Uncle Frankie, it was one of the bigger scales. He actually went through it. He fell through it. They had to get a series of cranes out there to get his truck, trailer, and load out.
Fell through it. Wow. Didn't just break the scale. Fell right through the whole bloody thing. That's impressive.
Oh, both times he fell through the scale, I think he had a total of like 24 or 25 axles.
What were these guys thinking?
I don't think they were.
Apparently not.
And both times it happened in the same state.
What state? State of confusion?
I don't exactly remember which state it was, but I remember it happened in the same state both times.
Stretch 609. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you with us.
Oh, welcome.
Anybody got interesting plans for this week?
No.
Me neither. I mean, the biggest change to my week is I picked a different hotel than the one I've been staying in, just to change things up.
Wow.
Although to be fair, I've just been staying in a standard Best Western. This one is actually a local establishment that is also a casino.
Oh.
Although oddly enough, since I've been to Nevada, I have not so much as dropped a quarter in a slot machine. Like, the thrill is gone. It's like, well, when you can do it every day, it's no big deal. When you actually plan a trip to Nevada to go to Vegas or something and hang out with your buds and gamble a little bit for fun, that's one thing. But I could literally walk out of my apartment, drive for 5 minutes, and start dropping money in slot machines. It's not that I go to the grocery store, you've got slot machines. Your average 7-Eleven on a street corner is going to have at least one or two slot machines in it.
Oh, wow.
Matthew's got a bunch of school. Paul is going to work, and Stretch is unpacking because he just moved. Yeah, I'm in the process of packing up for a move. We're on opposite ends of that, brother. And I cannot begin to express how much I hate moving. But this is a good move. It really is. So, not complaining. I'll do what I have to do. I am an adult male after all. Well, I'm an adult after all. I do what I have to do. It doesn't mean I have to like every bit of it, though. Got some funkiness down here on this field edge, caveman. It doesn't want to plant.
Is it telling you don't have access to this land?
Nope. It's just a funny angle or something. It doesn't want the planter to drop in low enough to plant up at that point. Kevin's got work in band. How's band practice going, Kevin? Kevin is a drummer in a rock band. Change the lyrics to a popular song, and you've got what Kevin does for fun. Stretch. Well, congratulations on your newborn. Very, very nice.
Yeah, congratulations.
But yeah, I'll bet that would make moving quite the challenge. Seems to me that sugarcane doesn't quite take the amount of sugarcane to plant as it used to in FS19.
Oh no, it goes a lot further.
Yeah, I'm not even close to being out yet on my first load. Oh, absolutely, David. There's a reason they're called one-arm bandits. And I don't play slot machines. If I'm going to play anything, it's video poker. I at least like to have a little bit of control over what I'm doing. And that's the thing, like small towns in Nevada, they'll have casinos, but they're just either slot or video game type casinos where you don't have official dealers and table games and things like that. Which personally, if I had my druthers, I would sit down at a table and play blackjack or craps. But that's just me. When you get a good table, craps can be a lot of fun. Even if you're losing on a good table, craps can be a lot of fun. Rob has moved 3 times in his life. You lucky, lucky man, you. 3 times. I don't even want to think about how many times I've done it. Nope, not going there. Not going to think about that. This is Sunday, man.
It's like I don't have access to this land.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It didn't tell me I don't have access.
It's not telling me either, but it's treating it like I don't.
Right? Maybe it's just mismapped. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Gotta be mismapped or something. Because it let me plow it.
No, I hear you, Kev. Yeah. I think it's just because when you've got a real rigid seeder like these, I think sometimes you just can't get into the dirt the way that you need to. Like, I think because this is on the slope, if you look at it, that little lip right there is a slope. And I think a rigid seeder or planter like we're using for the sugar cane.
Oh, it's on a slope, is it?
A little bit, just a smidge of one.
We can fix that real quick.
Let me get out of your way. Oh, yeah, without a doubt, Patrick. Join the military and you'll move a lot. Well, if I've got rank, that would be easy, because then I just, bring my guys over and go, you guys load this truck. I'm going to go have a beer. And if any of my furniture gets scratched, you'll be on KP duty for the next 8 years of your life. Rank has its privileges, right?
Right. And tell me it's got a hard edge on it now.
I'm not going to say it was an easy decision, Rob. It was a good opportunity. And the next move, it's for the same people, the same job, just a much improved version of that opportunity.
Right.
So you did some landscaping over here?
Yes, I did.
Well, it didn't fix too much of it. At least not in the direction I'm going right now. When I come back, I'll try running it the other way and see what happens.
No, I smoothed it all out.
Paul, my work is partially paying for my move. Partially. To be fair, they didn't ask me to move. I offered. I get to move from a little dinky one-horse town to an actual, what could actually almost be
Two-horse town.
called a city. It's got at least 5 horses.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So you go from a 1-horse town to a 5-horse town.
Exactly.
Still a massive improvement.
3,000 people to 20,000 people, or thereabouts. Ultimately, it was just better for them, better for me, and I said, hey, I'll move if you'll let me. And they said, okie dokie. That move solved a lot of problems for everyone involved. Anyway, the point is, it's better in the long run. That's what I want. Come on. Oh. I guess I parked a little closer than I thought.
Yeah. I honestly think buying that seed tender for this was a mistake. I think it's just easier to go to the silo.
Probably. Oh, and I forgot to fold my seeder too. Oh no, it's loading. It's loading with the bucket up.
You must have found a sweet spot then.
Must have. It's absolutely true, Rob. Absolutely true. The work isn't nearly as important as the people you work with, is what I would say. And yeah, I think that's an absolute truth. Especially your boss. Your boss can make or break your workday.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I gotta say, I like Robert's idea. Get you a mini home, that way you can take it with you.
There you go. Well, considering that I've got probably at least one more move in me for this job, because I'm in a training program right now. And once that's complete, then the option to move or the necessity to move is going to be there again. That's 6 to 12 months away, though. So it'll be a while. It's all good. At some point, I'm just going to settle in and go, you want to promote me so I have to move again? No, I'm staying right here. Assuming they even like what I do. I'm sure they will. It's good. This is Harv we're talking about. We stay positive. When the caca hits the fan, just turn the bloody fan off. For the love of God, how hard was that?
You want to know what's really funny, though? If you go by acres, this field is smaller than the last field of sugarcane I planted.
Oh, I can see where that'd be true.
Not that much, but it is smaller.
It's hard to tell at this point because that field's been blended in with everything else. Well, that's a good point too, Jordan. Well, I really thought I would have a definitive answer for him by the end of this week, and all I found out was it's going to be a lot harder to find a place out here than I originally anticipated. Because I'm in a bigger market, a much bigger town, so I really thought availability would be much higher. Little did I know That is not the case. Not the case at all. Absolutely, Robert, and that's why I'm saying get this move out of the way, make one more change to settle in somewhere, and then with any luck, my moving days are over, man. I really just want to get settled in somewhere. Go to work, do my job every day, do it well, and not have to worry about all this. And we've had 2 new subscribers during the stream, Simon Erickson and Rafael Avila. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you with us.
Welcome.
It's nice to see that people are so tolerant of all this downtime that I'm having on the channel, and we're still gaining subscribers. More than we're losing, so that's a bloody good thing.
That is. Definitely is.
And of course, kudos to all of you fine folks for sticking with us every Sunday. It really is good to come on and hang out and chat with you guys while we play. We need to, I need to take notes and write down what our goals are going to be for our next map, since we kind of sorted some of them out.
Sort what out?
The goals for our next map. You know, the $1 million a day for 2 years and all of that jazz.
Okay, yeah, we do need to get that sorted out.
Or $1 million a month.
A month.
But that really means 12 million in a single year, because month to month things are going to fluctuate depending on seasons. So
yeah.
We're going to sustain that for 2 years to make sure that it's genuine. Seasons.
Are you making notes somewhere?
Yeah, I'm writing stuff down
Okay.
before I
That's
forget,
probably smart.
because I'm old. I got a lot on my mind. Things slip out of it
Uh,
frequently these days.
Don't forget to put down no direct sale of grass products.
All right. Hard mode. That's going to make it really challenging. That's a lot of money to make. Rob, retirement age in the States is kind of actually these days is dependent on when you were born. It used to be a standard 65, but depending on when you're born, for some folks it's 67. And I don't know what the breakdown is. I do know that 67 is for a certain group, blah de blah de blah. Mid to late 60s, let's just call it that. I need one of those magic tents like they had in Harry Potter. Yes, that would be fantastic. There are so many things in Harry Potter I wish I had. I mean, I could just keep this, if I had Harry Potter magic, I could just keep the apartment that I'm in and use like some flu powder or something and teleport to the other side of Nevada. As long as there was a flu to land in, I suppose. Although I don't have a flu in my apartment. Well, I'd work it out. Or some kind of port key, right? Port keys were a Harry Potter thing. And yeah, Paul, We are all one big happy extended family. That is true. And Rob, we love you guys too. We really do. We've all been in this for a long time, and we always welcome anybody who wants to join us.
That's right.
Everybody's welcome in Harv's world.
That's right.
Yeah, so our retirement's about the same as Europe. Oh, there
I
you
think
go.
You
What?
missed a comment.
What? Oh, hello, new subscriber from Ohio, new to Farm Sim. You are the man. You've been really helpful with your videos. Dookie Shoes. Great name. I love that. Dookie Shoes. I know I've stepped in plenty of it in my time. Great comment. But thank you so much, man. You know, that's kind of, yeah. A lot of people gotten started the same way you did. You're in really good company here, man, because a lot of these folks started with the same videos you've been watching. And I'm glad you found them really helpful. And if you ever have questions, feel free to join the Harv's World Discord. That is available to everybody. It is absolutely free. The link is in the video description down below. And plenty of people in there ready, willing, and able to answer questions if you need some help with something. Just ask Graham. Graham, who's in the chat right now. He's a real new player. And he's gotten a lot of help from folks on the Discord. At least I think he has. Am I wrong in saying that? I don't think so.
I know I've helped Graham a few times. So,
That's very true, Robert. That's very, very true. Um, let's see.
you don't sell stuff on pallets to Goldcrest Valley.
Nope.
That does not work.
You can't run pallets on the
unfortunately.
train.
It's supposed to work, but it does not.
Rob, what upcoming game? What upcoming game are you talking about, man? Because I'm kind of at a loss on that. Thank you for sharing that, Jordan. Was it all squishy between your toes, too? Oh, man, you guys. Alright, I'm going to try this edge and see if it does anything. I'm not convinced. Nope. Nah, it's still doing the same thing, man.
So I don't technically own the land.
No, you do. I mean, it's just patchy. Like, I do see a few patches getting planted as I go across, but just nothing significant there. It's just there's something off with the field right there on this corner. It does not like it. I mean, it's sugarcane, dude. This smidge of 1/16 of an acre or whatever it even is not going to hurt your harvest. I promise you.
Oh, if it's not planting it, I guess I'll just landscape over it then.
Oh, I see, Rob. How do you sell soyo drink? You wouldn't sell soyo drink to Goldcrest because you can't run pallets on the train, right?
Exactly. Pallets don't run on trains, unfortunately.
Unless you could somehow drain it into. Is there? I think there's a tanker car on the train. No, maybe
No,
there's
there is
not.
not.
No, there isn't.
I mean, you could try strapping it to the flatbed on there, and seeing if it works, but it wasn't. It was just falling off right where the train runs off the map.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. I did see your comment about the movie Moving with Richard Pryor. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I even remember hearing about that movie before. I'll have to check it out. Although I'm suddenly reminded of a movie with Tom Hanks called The Money Pit, with I think it was Shelley Long, where they decided to move into a house and fix it up, and it was a much more of a fixer-upper than they had anticipated. Man, we might actually get this field done.
Yeah, we're slowly getting it done.
And I'm sorry, but we're jumping straight into April once this field is done.
I need to roll this field.
Well, I've got my planter over here. And you've got
And
Sharko's
Sharkus is
planter
right
over here.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, now that you mention that, I'm grabbing the planter and I'm going to start rolling.
Okay. See if it'll let you unload that sugarcane somewhere. If it will, just unload it wherever. If it won't, then I'll just return it with sugarcane in there. I don't care.
There's only 2,000 liters. Yes, it gave you seed pallets.
Of course it gave me seed pallets.
I knew that was going to happen if it unloaded it. It wasn't going to. There. I mean, there. Well, I guess there are sugarcane pallets out there.
There are.
Well, you'll have to place a sale point then, Graham. She did include sale points for her products.
Yes, she did. And if you got to place one, you might as well just place it, where you ain't got to haul it very far.
Yep, stick it right on your farm.
Yep, stick it right on your farm, right beside where you're producing the stuff at.
Jay Pablaki, welcome to the stream. Apparently, he really likes the movie Moving. Also, and he was moving from New Jersey to Idaho. I might know something about that. I did a move to Idaho once too. That was many, many moons ago. I don't know how fast you were expecting to roll. This is running 11 miles an hour, which is the seeding speed.
Which is what it should be doing, yes.
Okay. Because I want to say roller speed is 7.
It should be running at 11.
But it is rolling as intended.
Awesome. And does it show up as... Yes, it does show up as rolling on the map, too. Awesome.
Perfect. This shouldn't take much longer, I hope.
No, it shouldn't take too much longer.
Now your other sugar beet field over there looks like part of it was fertilized and part of it wasn't.
There was like 2 liters of fertilizer in the planter that I wasn't going to unload.
Oh.
And that's what 2 liters of fertilizer did on that field.
Wow.
That field was fully fertilized beforehand, but planters use them regardless for some stupid reason. But
Right.
matter of fact, if you just turn the planter on and let it sit still, it'll just slowly drain through fertilizer.
Yeah, I know. Like, the planter's smart enough to know that you don't need to plant seed in a specific spot, but it's not smart enough to figure out that you shouldn't be putting fertilizer down.
Yeah, 'cause that makes a lot of sense.
Robert, yeah, so this is a base games planter that Caveman has done a bunch of edits on. He made it multi-fruit, so you can plant absolutely anything with it now. You can change its colors, but you can also buy in the shop the addition of a field roller, which technically it has built into it already anyway. Wrong button. And I bolted. And so one of the nice things is, you know, if you need a 18-meter wide field roller, which to be honest, there is actually the really big field roller already. But anyway, this planter already has rollers built into it, as you can see right here on the back. I mean, those are built onto real life planters for soil compaction reasons. So Caveman just activated the option for this thing to be, or to roll as you're planting, or if you don't turn the planter function on, it's just a field roller. So yeah, and it's going to Mod Hub for the third time. We'll see if Giants actually accepts it on this go around, because they have not been kind to Mr. Caveman's mods.
No, they have not.
I just want to make sure. I think there's a spot here that I'm missing, and I want to make sure I get it.
They also haven't been very kind to answering questions either.
Well, you shouldn't have any questions. They've spelled it out perfectly for you the first time.
Well, there is no, thing up there that tells you how to properly post a mod that was co-developed by two people. Or a mod that, somebody gave you permission to post. They have nothing anywhere that I can find that tells you how to properly do that.
Where's the, or what mod do you have that was co-developed?
Well, it's not co-developed, but the one that Mad Mex did told me to post it because he didn't want to do it.
Oh, I see. Somebody left a Kloss in the way. That would be me, by the way. Robert says you're the coolest dude, man.
Well, thank you.
Caveman's not going to let him get him. I mean, he's got his own sites where he can distribute his mods. He is actually more concerned about the console players. And I did notice your comment, Paul, about PC players get the coolest mods. We do. But that's because of the console manufacturers.
And to be honest with you, that's the biggest reason why I'm trying to get it through Mod Hub, is because I want console players to have some cool stuff too.
Yep, that's exactly right. He said that many, many times. Oh, you're coming straight at me.
Yes, I am.
I was just doing headlands for you. All right, I'll move down.
If I wasn't concerned about that, I'd just put them on my site and wouldn't worry with giants. But
It's interesting, actually. Recently, the Harv's World Discord community has kind of started to generate a little bit of a modding community, a sub community within the community. Mostly thanks to Caveman, of course. But Mad Max has been trying his hand at mods, and I know Patrick has done some. Well, he's working on his mod manager software and generating other ideas for mods that sound very, very cool. I know my nephew, when I get around to teaching him how to play, which was very much on the table until this whole thing with work came up. We are still gonna do that though, by God. Um, I know he's interested in doing some mods, which I'm sure he's just waiting to learn to play before he starts digging in too deep into that, because he's a software engineer also, much like Patrick. So, anyhow,
Eric, I cannot honestly answer that question. But when I have an extra, what is it, like $800 to get one to find out, I'll let you know.
yeah, I don't know if Stream Deck would do that. I mean, if you're just thinking about extra functionality, Eric, the
The Steam Deck.
or Steam, okay, Steam Deck.
It's
I
basically a
yeah,
Linux version of a Nintendo Switch.
yeah, they had to name their thing right after this, almost the same as Stream Deck, because there is such a thing as Stream Deck, which gives some push button functionality, I guess is what I'm thinking of. Anyway, moving right along. Well, you don't have to have. I mean, honestly, I feel like console players have gotten some pretty spectacular mods these days. The options for console players starting out in FS22 are far superior now than they were previously. For reals. And you guys are doing all right. You've got auto load. That would be the biggest. You don't have GPS, unfortunately. But auto load would be one of the biggest things I would miss. Switching from PC to console. Like, what, you expect me to actually figure out how these crappy physics work for your pallets? No, thank you. It stole his pallet, Caveman, but gave him no money. To be honest,
Oh,
Graham, it's probably fallen off the map somewhere, and it could be returned to the shop the next time the game gets restarted.
yeah, that happens a lot even on PC.
Yep.
Stuff disappears, and then you reload the map, and then hey, it's there.
Because the train doesn't truly disappear. It actually runs on a track underneath the map where you can't see it. At least that's my understanding. Am I wrong about that, Caveman?
It does run on a track under the map where you cannot see it.
I honestly haven't paid any attention to the Steam Switch. Or Steam Deck, I mean. So I don't know what it does or what its intended use is.
Well, it's intended to be a portable Linux-based PC
Okay.
that's gaming capable.
Well, then it might just create PC compatibility for a lot of things. I think we're done rolling this field.
I think we are too.
Hella flippin' Luya. Well, Jordan, you'll always see me make an argument for old equipment. At least to get started. Old equipment is a lot of fun to play with. Alright, we got Mr. Caveman's field done.
I wish I had to remember to install that mod before we started.
Which mod?
The tree mulcher mod.
Oh.
Because I got trees that need to come down.
Well, I am headed to the shop to top off with fertilizer. Might pick up a little bit of extra seed, just for the sake of simplicity. And then we're going to jump to April and start planting sorghum, if that's alright with you.
What's wrong with me? We're doing sorghum.
Yes, sir. So this is my new field, guys. You can almost see it. All that white. I bought this whole field area, merged it all together, and turned it into one massive field, which you can now see right about there. I'm going to get a lot of sorghum off of that thing. And I'll scroll out so you can kind of see our farms. This is mine stretching along the east side of the map down here. Caveman centralized, and Sharko's little spit spot of a farm down there. No, that's true, Louise. That's absolutely true. I mean, how many old tractors are still out there working? There's plenty of them.
Quite a few. I would argue there's probably more old tractors out there still working than there are new ones working.
Yeah, that's probably true. There we go. Well, let's see what it takes to do a headland pass on this beast of a field. I mean, Caveman Sugar Beet field was bad. I may have gotten a little bit carried away on this one.
That might be a minute before I can actually do anything.
Well, what happened?
I'm sitting right now with ping of 45,000.
45,000. That's not ping. That's disconnection.
It hasn't disconnected me yet.
Yeah, Sleep Anywhere is a great mod. I do like Sleep Anywhere. It's very handy.
see you running in your field right next to where you got into your tractor at.
I'm almost to the end of the field.
I know, but I still see where you were running in place, going to your tractor.
Oh. Dookie's on Series X. Wish they had an. Yeah, that's one thing console players never got on FS19. At least it's a auto load log trailer.
A lot of the scripted mods don't make it to console because the console manufacturers won't allow third-party scripts to be run on their consoles.
Right.
It's well, according to which console manufacturer, one says it's a security risk, and the other one says that the console's not capable of it. So,
Pushing wrong buttons. I want that to come back too, David. I do miss full stop quite a bit.
alrighty.
And anybody who doesn't know what full stop was or is, because it is still available on FS19, when your harvester reached its fill point, when it was completely full, it would instantly stop in the middle of the field and put the pipe out. It would not go any. Well, you could force it after a few seconds to move again, but it would basically prevent, especially if you like playing with crop destruction, it prevents you from plowing over your crops once the harvester gets full. And that's kind of a big deal.
Is
Matt Wilson. Basically, just what we're talking about. There is no GPS mod for consoles, and the reason being is because GPS is a scripted mod. It requires the installation of a script, and the mod the console manufacturers, Sony and Microsoft, do not allow scripts to be installed on their consoles. No third-party scripting. So it's impossible for a modder to get GPS to console for that reason. It's not their fault. It's not Giant's fault. It's Sony and Microsoft restricting the consoles from having that capability. Unfortunately, because GPS is incredibly handy. I would be lost without it at this point. I'll be honest.
would be too.
A D2. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Me too, Harley. And how you been, Harley? I know you're a lurker a lot of the time. I figure you're watching. I don't call you out anymore. I don't want the baseball bat. I'm still terrified of that possible experience. Yeah, I liked Follow Me a lot too. Another scripted mod that console players never got, but it was a very, very handy thing.
Yes.
I still haven't completed a single headland around this field yet.
Oh, wow.
I'm about 3/4 of the way around.
Where are you going to put all this sorghum at?
In my silo.
Think there'll be room?
Most of it's going to get turned into flour. Well, if I've got to buy another silo to store sorghum, I will. I just know that I'm running out of flour. I'm using flour faster than I can make it at this point. Mostly because I run out of stuff before it's ready to harvest the second time or third time or whenever I want to harvest it. So, and it'll feed my chickens.
Have that problem off of this field.
Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate you saying so. Yeah, keep in mind if you're seeing mods for PC that you can't get for console, most of the time it's because they're scripts. Sometimes it's because modders do like to work with genuine logos and trademarks on a lot of stuff like Ford, Dodge, Chevy, and Giants can't allow those because of trademark infringement without having some kind of a contract in place with that company, which, based on what I've seen, they don't usually have with automobile manufacturers.
Right.
I'm not going to say that's impossible, it's just not likely. Unless that automobile manufacturer happens to also make some type of farm equipment.
And it's honestly one of the reasons I'm really surprised that we don't have Ford, because they used to make tractors and other stuff.
And I know, did Giants allow the Ford brand in FS19? I wanted to say yes, but then I was unsure if I was thinking about that the right way.
Uh, they did, but they come out and said it was a accident.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Slim Ferret joins us as well, a third subscriber of this stream. Outstanding, guys. Thank you so much for following Harv's World. Very much appreciate that.
Yes.
So that was a mistake that Ford accidentally got included.
Yes, it is.
Oops. Bruce's favorites so far are Enhanced Vehicle and the RIA mods. We're going to be taking a close look at those RIA mods in the future. I believe we have said anyway. I'm actually pretty darn sure we've said that we are going to be looking at those in the future.
RIA mods, they're what replaced the realistic vehicle add-on.
I thought those were the ones that were creating the digging function and all of that stuff.
No.
Oh.
The digging function is Terraform. And
Oh, I'm thinking of something completely different. Okay.
yeah, you're thinking of another set of mods.
Clearly. Oh, I see what happened here. Really? That's weird. Okay. Hey, I'll fix it. I'll just have to backtrack and... No, that's not right, is it? What am I screwing up here, Harv? Oh, that's what it is. Caveman has already planted this end of the field. That's what I got jacked up there. I'm like, why does this look like it's... Because I know I planted it in this one direction, and now it doesn't look like it was planted in that direction. And now I know why.
Because I decided to just start planting.
Are you running at 7 or 11 miles an hour, Mr. Caveman?
I'm running at whatever the planter will let me run, which is I think 11 or 12. It pops up to 12 occasionally, but mainly 11.
Okay.
Hey, at least it's not doing like it did in 19.
Which is what?
Always said I was running 0 miles an hour.
Oh. Rob played Car Mechanics Sim this week, and it's the same with brands over there. No real brands, but then you have some awesome mods. Yeah, I think you're just you're gonna keep seeing more and more of that in games. You know, you've already seen it a lot with like American Truck Simulator and European Truck Simulator, Farm Sim, obviously. I think it's a game model now that has seen enough success, at least niche success, that I think other game developers are just going to start taking it on more and more. That's kind of my take on it, anyway. I didn't realize just exactly what I had done over here, but it's pretty spectacular, if I do say so myself. Well, I was only working it in small sections at a time, so it didn't feel as big when I was merging it all. Now it's just ridiculous. And I like it that way. Oh, it's going to get funky with the fertilizer too. Some of it needs to be fertilized, some of it doesn't need to be fertilized. Oh well, I'll pay the extra money. Whatever. Now, Bruce has apparently tried Terraform, but
How'd you like it?
he says it's good, but he thinks it clashes with the grass and straw in his save game. That's interesting.
I do remember seeing somewhere they only recommended using it if you used it from the get-go.
Oh, don't add it after the fact. Either start with it or don't use it.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think it was one of those they recommended because it was doing something weird if you added it in.
Gotcha.
If there's a lot of script-based mods that are like that, you got to add them in from the get-go or not at all.
That makes sense. I was just reading back, and Jordan brought up the far pull behind combine in FS19 that I used on Off the Grid. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that too. Obviously, you get to a point where it's just too small to work with anymore, but that's good stuff, man. I do enjoy doing those little jobs a lot. This is going to be a little funky, but I can come back and fix it later. I don't care. Yeah, that's a pretty big field there, Dave. Or yeah, David. I might have gotten a little carried away.
Just a little bit.
Well, that's how you make money, right?
How you make money or go broke one.
Well, a little bit of both. Maybe I should start paying off my $1.1 million loan.
Probably.
That's one thing that I've noticed in Farm Sim, however, is that um, loans don't really seem to hurt you too much.
No, they hurt way worse than 19.
Way worse. You can carry a loan forever and you can make way more money than you're paying in interest, so why bother paying back the loan? Oh, okay, so let's talk about that. The $12 million a year, we got to sustain that for 2 years. We have to run seasons, we can't sell grass products, and we have to be on hard mode. No extreme mod edits. And what I mean by that is you can't just make a mod that, buys a pallet of honey for $1 million per pallet. At least no financial mod edits. And Kevin said we need to make sure that we're playing game-based, realistic. So we can't fast farm, and I'm thinking field flipping is right out. I agree with you. I agree with you, Eric. I mean, it is just relaxing. FS19 is still a great game, man. It really is. Nothing wrong with it. And if that's what you're enjoying, then stick with it. I know you love playing that, man. So Matt's saying, caveman, that you should split the field and go back and forth. Ah, we'll get there. Um, Camila Home. First of all, welcome to the stream. Second of all, this is a closed server. Streams,
Yes.
we don't just invite anybody to play. Every once in a while, we will offer slots for guest appearances and such. But members do have a server on the Harv's World Discord they have access to, channel members. And there are at least one or two folks in here right now who've been playing on that server.
That's correct.
Atomic says one of our rules should be all loans have to be repaid before the year starts to count.
Ooh, I like that idea.
So if we take a loan, it has to be extreme short term. Is that what I'm hearing here? As in, it has to be less than a 12-month loan?
No, what he's saying is before the 12 million a year can count
Oh.
as being one of the years the loan, we cannot have an outstanding loan balance.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. No loan balance. That's a good one. David gave us a reprieve on crop destruction because of the questionable connectivity on dedicated servers sometimes. Yeah, Mad Mex is in there. I think we all do, Rob. That's what brings us all together, right? We love this game. Row Gamer, how you doing, man? Good to have you in the stream. We're actually running a lot longer than we normally do today, so I don't know how much longer we're going to be going, but it's a good conversation right now. So Mother Nature and I might have to take a break for a chat, though. I've seen Elden Ring, at least the advertisements for it, but I can't say I know much about it. 100 hours, Rob. What am I talking about? I've got over 3,000 hours on Farm Sim 19, and I'm pretty sure I've racked up 500 or 600 on this one, so.
I've got a lot of hours on a lot of games.
Right? Oh, look at that. Caveman took your advice, Matt. He split the field. Started going east to west. I'm actually
Might not have been a perfect split, but
I'm actually going to run out of liquid fertilizer before I'm even halfway out of seed. Apparently sorghum takes a lot of fertilizer. Or no, this field was barely fertilized. That's probably part of it too. No, that doesn't make sense. Just shut up, Harv. We're working on that, Paul. We realize that we're getting to a point where I don't know that we have this map completely played out, but we are getting pretty close to playing it out. So
very close.
We are in discussions about new maps. If you guys have suggestions, we are always willing to take that into consideration.
That we are.
We do have a general idea of what we want to do next. It's just a matter of logistics or desire. And what I mean by that is we'll just have to wait and see. I will say this: I'm reasonably certain that we are looking at something big, way bigger than a one times map. I think we've had enough one times for a while. There's liquid fertilizer sitting over here when you need it, caveman.
Yeah, I've still got 500 liters.
Well, and that's a good point too, David. Yeah, don't pick a new map until April when precision farming comes out. That's fair.
Yeah, that's at this point. That's kind of what we're waiting for.
Yep.
Mainly because I expect we're going to have the same issues we did in 19 when it first comes out. You can't put it on an existing game save. You're going to have to start a new one in order for it to not break stuff.
Well, not only that, especially if you're going to go with a modded map, you've got to wait for the map maker to create the precision farming field types
You get that too.
or soil types. I mean,
That too. So,
and I was actually pleasantly surprised by precision farming. I was kind of disinterested in it. I'll be honest. I just thought it looked kind of tedious and added not much. Caveman convinced me to give it a try, and honestly, it was very much worth it. Westby, Wisconsin, 4 times map.
the no super strength, not gonna fly.
No super strength. That's not. It's not unreasonable. I'm trying to think what it would take to get by without super strength.
Well, the reason I say it's not gonna fly is because we know sometimes, how some things can be in the game.
Well, that's true. That's true. But we have auto load bale trailers. We've got auto load pallet trailers.
We'll agree not to use it to load bales and pallets.
There you go. I mean, we're playing with Sharko. Sometimes you just have to flip a tractor over
Yeah,
or get it out of a lake.
yeah. Somebody was asking about PC brands. Where are you at in the world?
We have this thing called the internet. Does it matter where you're at in the world anymore?
Well, I know some brands are. Well, I know some brands are cheaper at different places because he's looking for not huge expense.
Oh, okay. Dookie shoes, honestly, it's tough in the PC market right now because of the whole silicon and chip shortage that's going on throughout the world. Prices have just skyrocketed. It's ridiculous. So
Um,
it's easier to tell you specs to look for. In fact, if you look at Steam or find a box, if you look at the gaming specs for FS22, that would be good specs to shoot for on a gaming PC. To keep it simple
yes.
for someone who's not as PC literate as some of the geek factor that we have going on for me and Caveman and Charco and whomever. Take your favorite game and look at the specs for that game, and because it's not about brand as much as it is about, are you getting the specs you need to do what you want.
The only thing I will say with brand is stay away from HP. They make the HP Omen. Stay away from that. Stay away from Alienware.
That's what I
and
was
stay
about
away
to
from
say.
Dell
Right.
because they might say that it has the right specs, but their components are going to be proprietary. So if there's a problem, then it's going to be a lot more expensive to fix. And it's also not going to have the same results as, getting an actual product, the actual, real deal. Um, Also, uh, I like Razer's peripherals, but stay away from a Razer laptop because they're just not as reliable as they could be. And I can say that one from personal experience.
Thank you, Matt. We are going to try to keep up the good vibes as much as possible. Paul, Elk Mountain. I've heard good things about the Elk Mountain map. What have you heard about it, Caveman? Is that
With
the
the
one
Elk
that has
Mountain,
all the mining and stuff on it?
yes, there's the only thing about that map that I've heard so far is that fields are kind of spendy. Um, but that just might be, from trying to play it solo, start from scratch type deal or something. I don't know.
Matthew, how about you must use at least one caveman custom mod? That's a no-brainer. That's going to happen regardless. We'll probably have several installed on any map we choose to play.
Like, how many do we have installed now?
Half a dozen at least.
And a lot of the ones that we have installed, unless you were actually looking at the mod list, you would like. There's three of them. You wouldn't even know they're installed unless you're looking at the mod list.
Bulky trains, bulky silos, and bulky auger wagons, right?
Yep.
This planter right here is a Caveman Customs mod, and I'll tell you what, I'm not giving that thing up anytime soon, I promise you.
I don't think anybody in their right mind, if they had it, would give it up.
Especially now that it has the roller on it. I mean, it was great before as a multi-fruit, but now that it's a multi-fruit and rolls, this thing is gold. Hey Marquez, yeah, I mean you've been in live streams before, man. I know we've seen you around previously, and that's all good. Catch us when you can, man. I understand. We appreciate you dropping. I mean, we're actually running about 40 minutes later than we normally would today. Things are going well. Why bail out when things are peaking, man?
Yeah, exactly. And somebody didn't get the memo on this field here either. It's supposed to be a field, not a forest.
Say what?
I hit a tree.
Oh. Oh, without a doubt, Dookie shoes. Without a doubt. A couple good places to start. I would look at either newegg.com or Amazon. That's where I would
All right.
start my search. Also, a really good website that I followed for years and years now. It's called Tom's Hardware Guide, and they do
Oh yeah.
reviews on PC peripherals and PCs in general. And a lot of times, if you look at their website and look up like a gaming PC, they're not just reviewing a single PC. What they're doing is they are giving you options like best low budget gaming PC, best high end gaming PC, and all the in betweens. So Tom's Hardware Guide's a really good one too.
Yes, it is. And if you're in the States, Check out Micro Center.
Or Fry's
Um,
Electronics. That's
like
another good place like Micro Center.
okay. I know Micro Center frequently has sales going on. I can't remember if it's Asus or Asus. One of the two of those. They're pretty good quality, pre-built computers. Um, Also, too, if you can't find a pre-built you like, Micro Center will build them for you.
Best Buy is not a horrible choice either, but I would hit Newegg and Amazon first.
Yeah, and I would definitely try to stay away from Walmart.
Oh, and there's a good point too, Rob. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there that will help quite a bit when you're looking to get into PCs.
Right.
And Eric prefers to go the refurbished route. There's nothing wrong with that either, as long as you're
No,
getting it from a reputable place. I wouldn't,
exactly.
I wouldn't take a refurbished computer from, Joe's computer sideline. And that's not to say Joe does bad work. It's just that it's not an established place that I would be comfortable spending that kind of money on something. But that's just hard.
Exactly.
Now, building PCs is a real option for a lot of people. And we used to do it back in the day because you could literally build your own PC for about a half to a third of the price that you would spend buying a pre-built PC. But obviously, as times change, technology gets simpler, faster, better, whatever you want to call it. Um, the savings aren't as great. In fact, it's for my money personally, it's not worth it for me to hand build a PC anymore for a number of reasons. Part of that has to do with warranties. For somebody who's not experienced in computers, having that, a tech support option is very, very handy. Um, but there's nothing wrong with building your own either. And you will save a few bucks if you shop around and get to know your components fairly well.
Yes, you will.
And yeah, Amazon does have refurbished stuff available on their site. That's right, Eric. That's a good point and a good reminder. Okay, I think we're all planted up.
For right now, anyway.
Until I get this thing cleaned up, I'm not going to put it away. What else do we have going on? I mean, this all needs fertilizer, but I can't do it until it grows once. Oh, I didn't realize these fields haven't been fertilized. I've got all that to fertilize. Oops.
Oh, looks like you got some fertilizing to do.
Got a whole lot of fertilizing to do. That's what I get for not paying attention.
Right. Send Sharko's tractor back to his farm. You know what, it ought to be able to make it there.
Oh, see what Harv did there? He almost hit that train track and got crushed. Because that's what Harv does sometimes. Sharko sinks his tractors. I just like to get clocked by the train.
He's bad at playing chicken with the train.
I really am. I own it. I absolutely own it.
You think if he keeps playing with the train long enough, one of these days he'll win?
Could be. Canadian Cowboy, welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
Marquez on your PlayStation. You love Farming Sim 19, but this version looks really good. It does look really good. I like it a lot. Again, nothing wrong with 19. I'd go back and still play 19. This has a lot of additions that quality of life changes in FS22 that make things a little bit simpler, a little more intuitive, but otherwise, 19 is still a great game. At the end, because of the GPU, it was €60 more expensive to let my PC build, but that came with the guarantee and tech support. To get to decide how it was built, lots of fun at the end. Yeah, that too, Rob. I mean, 60 euros isn't much. I mean, when I'm talking about saving money on a PC, I'm talking about hundreds of dollars or hundreds of euros. Back in the day, that was possible. It's not possible to do that anymore, unfortunately, by building your own. And again, you get the tech support and all of that, and warranties. Paul, train magnet, that's about right. Stretch, what can I do with an old laptop HP NV17? Too expensive to redo upgrade. Is there a site to sell it? Potentially, Stretch. You know of any PC sales sites? I mean, you can put it up anywhere. The problem is, computer technology, when it gets too old, becomes pretty valueless. You might get
Un-
$50 out of it, depending on its age.
Unless it's like last gen hardware or a collectible type piece of hardware, your best bet's just to throw it up somewhere like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Or heck, even if you have pawn shops in your area, take it to a pawn shop. You'll probably get a little bit more for it if you sell it on eBay, but
You
if
might
you want it
actually,
gone now, pawn
you,
shop's probably the best bet.
you might actually get even more if you were to donate it somewhere and just write it off as a donation. De-
That's true too.
Depending on how many tax write-offs you have in the states, that can be a little bit tricky. If you don't have enough write-offs, then it doesn't do you any good to have any write-offs. The individual deduction is the better way to go, but blah, we're getting it into tax law and that crap, so we're not doing that. But anyway, this has been a good stream, David. It's been a really good stream. What's the common denominator for this stream? Well, A, great people. You guys, of course. And B, where's Sharko? No, that's mean. We love Sharko. We give him a hard time, but we love him like a brother, man. He's a good guy.
That's right.
He's just fun to pick on. Maybe because he's so good natured about it. He never takes it personally. That's important. Oh, I just thought of a mod that you can do just for Sharko Caveman. This would be perfect. I'll tell you about it
That
after the stream.
that's a good point, Atomic Sneeze. If you are going to sell it, make sure you wipe the hard drive
Oh, yes.
and all that good stuff. Me personally, I if I get rid of a computer, I never get rid of it with the hard drive. Um, I just sell everything but, and if somebody wants one with a drive, I'll tell them I can put a new one in it, but I'll charge them for the new one
Uh,
because I don't want my data going out to whoever.
right. Yeah. Same with your old phones. I mean, you can't pull the hard drive out, but make sure you wipe those suckers. And Jordan, there's no probably about that. I am easily old enough to be Sharko's father, plus a few extra years. Yeah, and our moderators haven't been their usual hit that like button reminders today.
Oh, I don't know.
It's all
Do we
good.
still have two moderators in here today?
Yeah, we've only had one in today, Kevin.
I get the fun task of putting sugarcane back in my sugar mill.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it just takes, 15, 20 minutes to get enough in a trailer to take it over there.
Well, that's my new motto, Paul. I heard this recently, and I totally have adopted it. Don't take life too seriously. None of us gets out alive anyway. It's a fair point.
It is a very fair point.
Man, I've got to fertilize all of my field, like all of them, I think. Although at least the mega one I can't do until tomorrow or next month anyway.
Oh, wow. And all of mine should be ready to go until it's time to harvest them.
Yeah, that's a fair point too, Jordan. Yeah, Kevin's been busy in the Wilhelmina forest, holding down the fort since I've been away. But Kevin's a drummer in a rock and roll band.
Yeah, that's true.
And I asked him and I saw his comment, but I don't know if I responded to it, where he's like, they expect me to play for 4 hours all the time, and at my age, I'm just not able to do that as often as they would like. Okay, I get that, brother. I really, really do. So I should have my flour mill well set up after this next harvest.
Yeah, you definitely should. And I should have my sugar mills set up pretty decently after this next harvest.
You had them set up good before, but you didn't quite plant enough sugar beet the last time, did you?
No, I chewed through all the sugar beet I had in a month.
I'm mostly still doing 4th Street, and it's going well. I started a farm now in forestry because I cleared out a lot of money in the game, and I got 27 million for cutting down trees. Yeah, forestry will make you a lot of money in a hurry. I actually haven't done any forestry on FS22 yet. I wonder why. Oh yeah, because I just ended, or have just done a year of it in a big way. A real life year. Unless you use a program that not only erases the hard drive but also overwrites several times the information on the old drive can be. Well, that's true too, David. At least
That is true.
I mean, if somebody wants it bad enough, they're gonna find a way to piece it back together. But
Wipe it with Rakuva. Good luck rebuilding that. Especially if you do a secure wipe.
I don't blame you, Kev. I'm kind of at that point too. I need to find something to eat also. Although I made my apple pecan scones for breakfast this morning. They were yummy.
Those sound pretty good.
So you have 2 fields with info on them, and it says remove forage 4 of 4. I have no idea what that would be.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have not seen that message either. Remove forage? Nope, definitely never seen that. Paul, the best way to get super strength is to install the lumberjack mod. Lumberjack gives you super strength. Also, what's that? Pro Tools? Is it called Pro Tools? Is it Pro Tools?
Power tools.
Power Tools will allow you to turn super strength on and off. The nice thing about lumberjack is you just have to hold down the alt key on your keyboard to activate.
And there may be
super
some
strength.
lag incoming for you, Harv.
Okay, what are you selling? Strawberries?
Sugar.
Oh. I've got to buy some bloody fertilizer, man. You know what we can do with the infos with the field info mod. I have additional field info installed. We've got it on the server too. I don't know. Maybe it's ooh man, there's big time lag going on here. That was a lot of sugar. That's true, Harley. Power Tools does have flight mode as well. And a few other things.
Well, if you turn your developer console on, or on PC anyway, you can turn it on with console commands.
Yeah, that's true too. But it's much easier for most people, I think, to have a mod to just give you the click of a button kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Canadian Cowboy, I just don't know, man. I mean, it sounds like that's something that's been added with the field info mod that you're using, and I haven't played that one. Oh, Bruce, that sounds good, man. Now, is that real shepherd's pie made with lamb, or is that pseudo shepherd's pie made with beef? Because frankly, I'll take it either way. Shepherd's pie is good stuff.
It's better made with lamb.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever had it with lamb. That's kind of what I was guessing at, David, too, was that the field could be used for forage. Or maybe the forage quality or quantity, that 4 of 4. Like sorghum would make very good forage. I don't know. I just don't know.
It's also possible it could be a translation error.
No, that's a possibility, too. Very true indeed. Oh, I need to empty my bakery. It's a little full. And I just crushed my cakes. Oops.
I'll come clean it up.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Well, I ain't got much else to do at the moment, so.
No, be my guest then. Oh, so if you make it with beef, it's cottage pie. See, I did not know that. Good to know.
I thought it was specifically like cubed beef for a cottage pie. Or is it just beef in general?
Probably beef in general. Shepherd's pie hints at lamb just by the name shepherd, right?
Right.
How did my fields get so behind on fertilizer? That's not like me at all.
You weren't thinking.
No, it's
Are you?
being away for a week at a time, and then having to come back and remember where you left off, and having a tired old brain that says we don't want to do that thinking thing anymore, man.
Looks like you sold off some of your bread, huh?
Yeah, that's how I afforded all those fields.
Oh,
I sold a bunch of bread off.
well, you had about half a trailer load worth.
That was a while ago. Hey, FF, how you doing, man? Feeling better, I hope. FF is a sheep. There's 100 ways for sheep to die, and oh, I see the bread. It's on the backside of the bakery, caveman. If you pull
Oh,
away
you
from there,
moved it.
yeah, I just
You moved it.
because I think I was splitting cakes and bread at one point.
Okay.
As I said at the beginning of the stream, there's 100 ways for sheep to die, and they're going to try every one of them. And FF is kind of doing the same thing. He's been finding new and interesting ways to hurt himself lately. So I hope he's feeling okay now. Oh, Bruce, a recipe from the 1700s, even better. So I've got wheat in one field, oats in two fields, and sorghum in the mammoth, gigantic, behemoth field.
Yep.
I'd actually like to see that recipe from the 1700s, Bruce. That would be kind of interesting, actually.
I'd like to see that too, if you don't mind sharing it.
Yeah.
I think you're on the Discord, right, Bruce?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Just share it there on the Discord if you don't mind sharing it. That is, that'd be great.
On several fields, David's seen field info say forage 1 month before it said ready to harvest. Well, that kind of makes sense. I mean, if you've got grain crops, and sorghum would definitely fall into the category, they can be chopped for forage. That is true. Jordan had to scrape the mashed potatoes off of his cottage pie. Hey, that's all right. I have an ex-girlfriend who didn't like mashed potatoes either. My dad told her she was un-American, which works for you, Jordan, since you're Canadian. So you can be un-American and not take offense at it. Yes, I cracked myself up. Oh, you're good. You're out of your sling already. It's been less than a week, so that's good.
That is good.
Well, then basically, Jordan, you're just having stew at that point. And nothing wrong with a good bowl of stew.
Nothing at all wrong with a good bowl of stew.
Oh, I've got grass ready to harvest over here. Look at that.
And that's in its second harvest stage, too.
Yes, it is.
So is the grass on my field.
That's what Caveman wanted to hear. We've got grass work to do later. Man, this is going to be the longest Sunday stream I think we've ever done. Look at us go. Caveman's like, yeah, Harv, I didn't get any sleep last night. I told you I was tired. Now you're going extra long today. OMFGWTF. No, I know.
Doesn't bother me.
I know, I'm just joking. Trying to pretend like I have a sense of humor occasionally.
You do have a sense of humor. Just sometimes it can be a bit dry.
I know, it's a very dry sense of humor. How incredibly droll. That's right, David. It's your life. Eat what you like. Rob had homemade Wurstenbroodjes. I am just gonna butcher that word, but I'm gonna believe it's some kind of sausage. Wursten. That sounds like the German Wurst. I know it's not German, Rob, but if it were, I'd say Wurst is definitely the word for sausages in German, just spelled differently. Almost sounds like some kind of a bread. Wurstenbroodjes. Broodjes. Oh, whatever, I'm going to stop slaughtering Rob's poor language.
He made a good point. We better do a save.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, let me just go ahead and hit the save button real quick.
Please be my guest.
Okay. Saved.
Kevin? We need to kill and ban this. Please, brother. Oh, okay, good, good, Rob.
Got to be quicker than that, Sharko.
Now is Sharko in? Did I miss him? There he is. One of the things that I haven't had often, but that I really, really, really think is delicious and fantastic is called Rouladen. It's a German dish. You dice up some onions and dill pickles to start with, and you take like a flank steak, like a flat, thin piece of meat. You spread Dijon mustard all over the inside of it, or a spicy brown mustard at least. Then you put your diced onions and pickles. Oh, and diced bacon. You got to have diced bacon on this thing too. All of that you layer over the mustard, and then you roll it all up. It basically becomes like a rolled up roast with all of these fillings in it. And you brown it in a hot skillet, and then you bake it probably with a little bit of beef broth until it's cooked well through. Man, Rouladen is the bomb. If you've never had it, I strongly suggest giving it a try. I know the dill pickles throw people off a little bit sometimes, but trust me, it's good. Well,
They're good. They're good cooked in things and on top of burgers, but I wouldn't eat them by themselves.
see, a dill pickle's the only pickle I will eat by itself. I don't like sweet pickles. It's all right, Kevin. We got them. I hope moderators had the ban ability to kick them out permanently. If not, I'll sort it out later. What am I missing here? That's what it is. There we go. Alright, finally. All that bloody fertilizing is done. That was expensive. Oh, apparently we didn't knock them out. But now the mods are on top of it. Let me check something real quick. See if I can do this without screwing anything up. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Oh, they are, David. They're on it like a car bonnet.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go grab your mower and mow and bale my grass field real quick.
Crisis can happen unexpectedly to anyone, and though it may seem like a small...
Sorry about that. Okay. I'm just double checking this to see if there's utilities I have that others don't.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, it just means we're getting popular, Bruce. Or something like that.
Yep. Something like that.
Yep. And of course, we would never let them drive us away. But I do have to prepare for another long trip tomorrow. So I think that's going to do it for us. For the Sunday edition of Harv's World. Elmcreek. We got a lot accomplished. Our spring is well set. We're ready to move into summer, and I really don't think you guys want to watch us mow grass again. I know you don't care. But anyway. Anyway. Caveman, any final parting thoughts or words?
Not that I can think of, and then we'll see you next Sunday.
There you go. Caveman's going to run his agri truck with the mower and the baler this time. Nice. Alright guys, it was a great stream. We really appreciate you hanging with us, as always. Again, remember, don't take life too seriously. None of us gets out alive anyway. As always, we very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.